Hello everybody, and welcome to the Seed to Harvest series here on Cane Creek Ranch. On this episode, I am going to be going over everything we will be planting this year, while also showing you guys how we are going to do our pepper starters. Hello everyone, my name is Colin, and welcome to the garden series here on Cane Creek Ranch. On this series, we are going to be taking you guys from planting your seed to developing your land like this here, all the way up until harvest. Now me myself, I've done a little bit of gardening in the past, but I am still a beginner. So come along with me on our journey as we grow healthy, natural food for our off-grid living lifestyle. Alright, so starting out, let's go over everything we are going to be growing this year in our garden. Now, this is the first garden I've done in a few years. Growing up, we used to do gardens with my grandpa that we would mostly focus on tomatoes, some squash, and maybe some green beans and peppers. But I'm going to branch out and try some new things. Starting off, sweet corn. We love sweet corn here, and we couldn't decide which one we want to do, so we figured why not do a test and try every single sweet corn they had at the Home Depot to see which ones we like best. Now with this, there is cross-pollination, and you can make hybrids if you plant too close, so we're going to try our best to do it in a controlled setting where we'll get a true taste of what each one of these corn seeds tastes like. Moving on, we will be doing sunflowers. The thought on the sunflowers, I kind of just like them, and they taste good too, so figured double whammy, it'll look cool. They're 12 foot tall, 12 inches in diameter if they get to full size, and if we have any left over, we can use it for chicken feed in the future, I believe. And then moving over here, we got our classic beefsteak tomatoes. These are what you generally put on like a big old BLT sandwich or your salad, just a good healthy tomato size. Coming down from the tomatoes, we got our peppers. Now these are just a very selection of peppers that I generally cook with. I like bell peppers and sweet peppers for different types of salsa dishes, or even just adding it to an omelet or something. Really spices up the color and the flavor. And then we got our hot peppers below that. We got the jalapeno pepper. You gotta have that classic on there. And then we also have the long thin cayenne pepper, which is a good spice that we can dry out and use in the future too for cooking. We got our green beans. Those green beans just so happen to be the bush style. So there are two different styles of green beans that you can get. You can get a bush style, or you can get a type that climbs up they climb kind of like a vine. So you have to get lattice or something for it to grow up. We might do that next year, but for simplicity's sake, we're just doing the bush this year. And then moving on to carrots. I've never done carrots before. And to be honest, I don't eat a lot of carrots, but I thought it'd be something cool to try and learn how to do more of the underground growing style. And then we got our pumpkins here. We got two different styles. The classic jack-o'-lantern, which, it's your normal size pumpkin. I don't know if 8 pounds would be about the right size. And then the Big Macs is apparently about twice the size of the jack-o'-lantern from what I've heard. And we'll find out, because the Big Macs, we might try to just go for a big pumpkin, not volume, but the jack-o'-lanterns will probably go for volume. And then finally, watermelon. I love me some good watermelon. I've never really grown any watermelon of substantial size in a garden, but maybe if we do it right, fertilize and everything, we can get ourselves some good healthy watermelons. And finally, can't forget, special request, cucumbers. Now, cucumbers on a hot day, you dice that stuff up, a little bit of Hidden Valley Ranch, it don't get much better than that. But also, you can make pickles out of it. So that's something I've never done also this fall. I think it'd be a cool thing to do together with you guys. Here are the few things you are going to need if you want to do indoor starter kits just like this one. 1, planting trays. Got this guy at Walmart for about $4. It comes with the bottom tray that you put water in, and then this tray sits in top that you put your soil and seed in, and then also has a see-through lid to help with holding moisture in and heat. Next, you're going to want to get yourself some starter soil. Now, if you have good soil or you have a good source somewhere, cool, use it, no big deal. But this stuff's $8 for this small bag, and honestly, it's just kind of the easy button. So I like hitting the easy button when I can. Next, you're gonna not necessarily need a punch. You can use a pencil, anything about this size to help push down the seeds when you go do it. You can do your fingers, but the seeds are so small you can kind of do a little bit more of a precision run at it. And also, don't forget water. You're gonna need to water your seeds too so they grow. You know, that's kind of part of it. All right, so this is going to be our first planting of the season. And I'm very excited and a little bit nervous for it because I don't want to mess this up. But I did a little bit of research and hopefully I won't be guiding you guys in the wrong direction. If so, you'll find out. All right, so first off, we're going to be planting our peppers first. Why? Because the peppers are going to take about 8 to 10 weeks inside of this planter here before we can plant it outside. And in our climate, our freezing is pretty well done once May starts. April, you might be able to get away with it, but there might be a few nights of iffiness here and there. So by the time these guys are done, we'll be able to plant them in the ground in May and be safe. So we got our peppers that we showed at the top of the video. Let's get to it. Our first step is going to be putting our potting soil inside of our trays. So you want to just kind of pour it on here. You can pour it in the middle if you like, pour it around, get generous. I'll try to make as little of a mess as possible because for the people that know me, they know I'm a really clean, tidy guy. Ain't that right, cameraman?
That's right.
All right, just kind of push those in there. And you want to just fill them up to the top on this first pour. All right, once you get them leveled off, you're going to want to compress the soil down just a little bit, not halfway, so maybe about that 25% range. So we're just going to go in here and push this soil in a little bit and make it a little more dense at the bottom for the root system. Slow and tedious process here. All right, so now that you got it all pressed down, you actually want to now fill it back up again to the top. But this time around, we're going to leave it nice and soft on the top. So then that seed can easily start to grow, not have to work its way through packed dirt. So we're just going to kind of sprinkle this in there and get them all leveled off. If you have a straight edge or something, it'd probably honestly be better using your hands for this. Here we go. Now we're ready to plant. So something you want to keep in mind while you plant, it's good to keep a log or label system going so you don't forget which seeds are where, because it'll be super easy in the future to mix them all up and not know what you got till they grow. We're going to start with our jalapenos. On our first batch of seeds here, we are going to do 2 seeds per spot. The reason why I'm doing 2 seeds per spot with the peppers is with peppers, they are a little bit tougher and good with transplanting. So in the future, if they both do grow, we can separate them and get 2 plants out of them. And then just like that, we got our seeds in there. And now we're going to push these guys down in dirt a little bit. Boom, just like that. And then cover them up. Alrighty, so that's the process for planting the seeds for the peppers. Alright, so Austin took the liberty of cutting the label off of the seed container, which kind of works perfect. So we're going to set that there so we know this is our jalapeno peppers. Next, let's go with our long thin cayenne pepper. What? Oh. Next, we're going to go with our long thin cayenne pepper. And basically, it's going to be the same process for the rest of these peppers. So I'll get the rest of these seeds put in and then get back. planted, it's time to water these guys. Now there's a few different opinions on the internet of how you should do it, but this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take my pitcher of water here, and I am just gonna fill this up about midway. And then I am also going to just sprinkle a little bit of water over top. If I had a mister, I would totally use that right now, but I don't have one. You don't want to get it too wet now. But another way you can go about this is by simply pre-mixing your dirt in the water and then putting your seed in, which I should have done. But hey, we're learning together. We'll for sure do that for the next one. So we got everything in place. Now, it's time to put our lid on. Call me crazy, call it superstition, but I'm gonna put a little bit in here and then shake her around. Get this thing nice and moist so we have a good moist environment. Put that on. Boom, just like that. Now that this is on, we gotta get these babies their light. So I got these two LED lights here. Now these LEDs are much brighter than I really need, so I'm not gonna put them as low as your typical grow light. So I'm gonna go right about to there. And since I'm only using half, I am not gonna use this light for now. But once I do start using the other side, I'll use this light also. So just like that, we got a little bit of heat coming off of here, which will create a little bit of heat in here. You want to try to keep this guy around 80 degrees. I will say, I have grown them in here before, and they weren't necessarily 80 degrees, they were more around 70, and it's worked, but they say 80 is ideal for starting your seeds out. Something you want to keep in mind is you want to keep an eye on your water level as this goes, and you want to make sure everything stays moist and doesn't dry out and burn up your seed. So that concludes this episode of From Seed to Harvest. If you guys would like to like and subscribe and hit that bell, that way you'll be notified when the next episode comes out, and we will be finishing out this seed container and getting ready for the season. And we're gonna have many more videos throughout the season showing you guys how these guys go from little seeds to awesome vegetables that you can have at home.